Sophia, good morning and a very warm welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Academy podcast. And what a great day to have you on because we're recording this on the 14th of February.
So what a great time to have me on as a self-love coach.
So tell us in your own words, Sophia, what do you do? Audience of entrepreneurs and business owners will be very keen to hear what you do because you're a busy lady.
So I'm a single mum of 3 children. That's my first and foremost job. And so I help women who are suffering with low self-esteem, low confidence, who have overcome maybe a toxic relationship, abusive relationship, who want to now go on to create an amazing life for themselves, whether that's to take a different career path, or mainly the women I work with have wanted to go on to create their own business and create a business that works around them and their children. But where that all starts is we don't always have the confidence and the self-belief that we can do these things. So that's where I help my clients create shifts within themselves and find that self-belief and that inner confidence for them to move forwards.
That's wonderful. So how did you start this work? Because the difference you can make, and I know you've made to so many people's lives, is outstanding. So where did you start?
So I went through a very traumatic divorce myself, and within the space of 24 hours, I lost my employment. I lost special guardianship allowance that I was receiving for my niece, and I lost another income stream as well. So in 24 hours, I lost 3 income streams, and I thought I cannot rely on anybody else to create income for me. And I've always been interested in property. My grandparents have always done property developing. So I started training in property and thinking, yeah, I'm going to have my own property business. This is what I want to do. But very early on, I realized I just didn't have the confidence, or my self-worth was just completely to the floor, still going through court proceedings with my ex-husband. And things took another turn for the worse during that. And I wasn't where I needed to be to have my own property business.
Wow, you took
And
a battering for sure, didn't you? All these things happening at once. My goodness.
yeah, so then that's when an online event popped up one evening when I was in quite a dark place, talking about like your self-worth and your inner confidence and your limiting beliefs, which I didn't even realize were a thing back then, that we had limiting beliefs because we just live in such a kind of narrow focused reality. We don't really see what's possible beyond the reality that we currently live in. So I signed up for this free workshop, and the lady hosting it did like a deep healing session around our subconscious beliefs. And just within that one session, I felt a huge shift in my confidence, and I just had like a new insight of feeling hopeful. And I realized that actually I had a lot of work to do on myself to build on that confidence more and get to really where I want to be for me and my family. So I invested in the healing program, and just within a couple of months of doing that program and doing the inner work on myself, I was able to come off antidepressants that I'd been on like pretty much my whole adult life. And yeah, my confidence just soared. I walked into a new job, which was twice the income that my old job was on, but half the amount of hours. So it was a part-time role, but the more income. Because my confidence was just at a whole new level, and I saw the job and I was like, yeah, that job's for me. That was before I was ready to go all in on being an entrepreneur and not having a job. So yeah, just things shifted really quickly for me when I started working on my healing and my inner confidence and my self-worth. I saw how transformative it was for me, that I went on to then train in this healing modality as well, which is belief coding. That's where I started. And then I invested further and became a qualified manifestation and life coach. And I've been working with clients, and just they've just had like amazing transformations and shifts within who they believe that they are.
Oh, amazing. And having walked that path yourself, it must be, and I'm sorry you had to, but it must feed into how you help people and you come from a place of understanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on, you told me when we were talking beforehand that you've got a book coming out very soon. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so I was at an event around this time last year, and a lady was doing a talk about writing a book, and I thought, flip me, I could write a book. And then the price that she kind of quoted for working with her to do the book, and I was like, okay, don't really want to do a book that much, not at this point in my life. Put it to the side, didn't really think much of it. And then within a few weeks of putting it out to the universe that I was willing to write a book, I had a voice note of somebody saying, Sophia, I'm looking for 10 inspirational ladies who have transformed their lives.
Wow.
I'd really love you to be a part of it. And so I was like, oh, it's meant to be. And the investment to write the book with her was like a small fraction of the cost. So I was like, why not? What have I got to lose? So I've got so much to share in the story where I've come from that can help other women. So yeah, that's exciting. I've been working with 9 other women who we've all got different stories, but we've all come
Mhm.
together around the same thing, that we've overcome adversity and trauma and have been able to live empowering lives now. So
Do you find that when you're talking to women in particular, that they're quite isolated and they're not aware of the support systems and that literally other people are going through the same thing?
absolutely, especially the things that I went through in my past in my marriage, I thought that I was completely on my own. I thought I would be nobody without my marriage.
Mm.
Um, and still now, like, we're separated 4.5 years now, and still I receive psychological abuse from him through the children. And it can feel like you're the only one going through this at times. So I am in communities now where there is other ladies that understand, because I've been open and sharing my story online. Other women have reached out to me like they're experiencing the same thing. But I do know also there's still a lot of women suffering in silence. So I'm hoping that my chapter in the
Yeah.
book that we're doing will help women, see the light and see that they're not alone in maybe a narcissistic relationship or a
Mm.
toxic relationship.
And there is help out there. So the book's been published in May, you said, didn't you?
Yes, in May, so we still have a couple of months to go. We've just submitted our second draft, so
I'm thinking, how do you fit all this in? Because you've got so much going on. But I love the way that you've just explained to our audience that you've heard about writing a book or part of a book and then put it to one side, and it's almost, in your words, perhaps manifested it, and it came round.
yeah, I'm a huge fan of, huge believer in manifestation. What we put out, we receive.
Mm.
And things come in divine timing. When I first thought about writing that book and the investment was a bit steep, I thought, but then I signaled out to the universe that I was open and willing, and then the right opportunity came along not long after. And that happens quite a lot for me.
Mm.
That opportunity. So when you take the first step in things, the opportunities then just open up to you.
Yeah.
Um,
You open that path, don't you? But I can imagine a lot of people think, oh, manifesting, I've heard about this, but obviously you and I both believe and it's putting out, maybe in layman's terms, positive vibes to the world. But if someone's not thought about this in great detail, how would you suggest they go about checking out? Obviously, we've got in the show notes how they can contact you, but how do they get that belief that it will work? What's the first step for someone saying, "Oh, I'm not so sure about this"?
but you have to believe you're worthy of what it is you want to receive. So whether you want a new relationship where they're going to love and respect you the way you deserve, you have to believe that you're worthy of that love and respect first. Or if you want to earn more income, you have to believe that you are worthy of earning that income. Everything we attract, it all stems from our self-worth and how much we value ourselves.
Ah,
So self-love is the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship, because then that's when you start attracting the positive things into your life. If you believe that you're only ever going to attract bad men, or you're never going to earn the income that you want, you'll continue to manifest that into your life. But if you believe that you're worthy of a decent relationship or more income, then you start to attract what you believe you're worthy of. Yeah, not just a case of thinking positively. It goes deeper than that. You really have to look at your subconscious beliefs, which are usually created in the first 7 years of your life. So when I work with clients, we tend to go, and obviously consciously you can't remember things between the first 7 years of your life, but when we work with the subconscious, we are able to actually pick out the very root of where your low self-worth and self-esteem come from. So for example, if you had a parent leave you at a young age, you would have adopted a belief that you're not worthy of love, or people always leave you, and then you carry that into your adult life. And if you have the belief that you're not worthy of love, you'll attract relationships that are not always healthy. I've experienced.
And come out the other side, which is a great thing, isn't it? And you talk about inner confidence. Any tips to start developing those? Obviously, people can work with yours, and just to remind our audience, the show notes will give you those contact points. But what are the first like baby steps, if you like, to grow that confidence?
So looking at yourself about where you feel things are going wrong, what you'd like to change in your life, and then thinking about what it is you actually want in your life, because so often we are going through life thinking, oh, I hate my life, or oh, I can't do this, I'm struggling, and we continue, but we don't actually give ourselves enough time to think about what it is we actually do want. So first of all, getting really clear on what it is you do want, and then asking yourself, okay, what is stopping me from getting that? And
Mm.
then that's where your limiting beliefs will start coming up. Well, I don't have the money to do that, or I don't have the time to do that. And so these are kind of excuses that come up, but then you want to go deeper and look at the limiting beliefs that are creating those excuses, because we have limiting beliefs that create the excuses. So with me, so if you're constantly saying you don't have the money to invest in either starting your business or invest in your healing, then it's about changing the questions that you ask yourself as well. So how can I afford that? And just put it out to the universe, how can I afford to do this? Or how can I get the time? And then your subconscious mind will start finding the answers for you, and your subconscious will start working with the universe to provide the things, what it is that you're looking for. But if you keep telling yourself you can't do things, you're just shutting your subconscious mind off to the things that are possible.
Becomes a reason, and then I guess it just perpetuates itself and keeps going on and on, the negative side of it. I love that, turning things around, asking yourself a question.
Like, your language that you use to yourself is just so important.
So
So I could tell myself, I'm a single mum of 3 kids there. I'm always up and down different schools. They're always, one of them's always out of school. Like, I could tell myself I ain't got time to do my business. But, there's never a good time. So you've got to ask yourself, how can I get the time, and make sure that you find time for the things that are going to help you move forward in your life.
absolutely, makes huge sense. And you are an incredible entrepreneur, because connected really with what you're just saying, you've started, you're part of a franchise, aren't you? So are you okay
Yeah.
to tell us a little bit about that and how that came about? Because that is so exciting, and it's part of that turning around that you've personally done.
Yeah, so again, I feel like it's something that I manifested. So I was doing my coaching back this time last year, and then my 2 daughters were both really struggling with their mental health, and one of them was going through a GCSEs. They were both having a lot of time off school, and I just couldn't at that time feel that I could take on the weight of having clients as well. So it was coming quite stressful. Um, that I wasn't in the right energy to take on clients at that time, and I had the girls home, so it wasn't ideal to have them home when I was doing coaching.
Of course.
And I was thinking, I don't want to go back to a job. I don't want to go back to a job. Like, how can I create another income without having to go back to work? And obviously, I still need to be home for my 2 girls. So going back to work wasn't really gonna be suitable either. So I was like, how can I still earn an income and
Yeah.
do something that I love, And then within a couple of weeks of asking how, I was in the right room at the right time, and the opportunity to buy a dance franchise came up. And
Amazing.
it was just like a no-brainer. Both my girls have loved dance. My eldest has danced since she was 4, but she hadn't danced since the pandemic. She she had suffered quite badly with her mental health since the pandemic and hasn't been dancing. So, and I knew that she was probably not going to do great in her GCSEs. She was going to struggle getting in anywhere after that. So this just was the perfect opportunity. And now, so I bought the dance franchise. Didn't even think about it. I was just like, I'm
Just
doing.
go for it.
So it's kind of for my children's benefit, really. So now it's both my girls are involved. We're out dancing. They're out dancing. One of them's like 5 nights a week doing dance classes, doing the dance assistants to my lead dance instructors, and it ties in so beautifully with the self-love and confidence that I am all about, because now we're bringing that into our students in dance. Like, we don't just teach dance, we teach life skills as well, and we teach children how to. So last night, for example, I led a dance class because the instructor was on holiday, so we had a good discussion with our kids. So at the end of each lesson we do a mat chat. So this week's topic was about self-love. And so getting all the children to identify within themselves, what do they feel proud of and what do they love about themselves? Because this isn't talked about enough in children. Like, we're not taught to talk about what we love about ourselves.
So
Too,
true.
too often children now are on their screens comparing themselves to girls and TikToks, and
Mm.
battering their self-worth at such a young age now. So now having those conversations in our class and empowering our young dance students to feel confident within themselves is really going to give them a good start as they work through teenage and adulthood.
It'll be more embedded in their psyche from a much earlier age.
Yeah, even just last night, I had one of the dads nearly in tears and wanted to give me a hug and thanking me for all that we've done for his daughter. And in the space of 2 months, she's been with us, and her confidence has just shot up. And he said she's got autism and ADHD, and we just didn't know she would fit in anywhere. And we're inclusive in our dance schools, and all our students just thrive within our community, and it's lush.
No, that's amazing. And what a incredible fit with what you're trained in anyway. I mean, it just sounds so exciting to be catching these young dance students young and helping them on their way as you've outlined.
Yeah, and the really exciting thing for me as well, because I'm super passionate about helping women starting their own businesses. So how this ties in with that as well is that I'm working with dance instructors who didn't have the capacity to know how to set up their own dance schools. They don't know about marketing or how to set up a business or how to get students in. So working with newly qualified dance instructors and helping them start their dream of having dance schools is just so rewarding. Like, the dance instructors that I work with are just so grateful for the opportunity that I've been able to open up for them by buying the franchise.
Yeah, because that a relative of mine is was a dancer previously, classically trained, and I'm sort of aware that it's quite hard once you finish your dance career, if that's what you've done, to get work, and then you're down to like the hourly rate. So to start your own business or have a path and a choice.
So to be able to work in partnership with them, and they've got all the support from me from a business aspect, and they bring their creative side in doing the dance teaching, it works really well.
And Sophia, I know that you managed to get quite a nice article in the newspaper talking about marketing, and that is one way to get your head above the parapet, isn't it, and get more widely known. So tell us, how did that, if you don't mind, how did that come about? How did you manage to get that article placed in a newspaper?
Wow, we had such a good launch at our new dance school in Weston. Um, and with the dance instructor, I just came away that night just feeling so grateful, so grateful for giving the instructor. I chose a great instructor for that school. And I just felt so excited. And I was like, oh my God, I want to share this with people. And I know how transformative it's been for my daughter's mental health as well. Um, and I just couldn't sleep that night. So at 3 in the morning, I emailed the Western Gazette and told them about that we'd launched a school and it's been really successful. We had like over 35 people join in our first night. Um, and just wanted to, because I think a lot of parents just believe that dance is, just a hobby for their kids, is not really worth the investment in them.
Yeah,
Um, but actually, it's so much more than that. It's a place where children can feel safe to come and express themselves. They've got role models to look up to.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's just a safe environment for them to really be themselves and believe in themselves. And when children find that there's a challenge in a dance routine, with a little bit of rehearsing, that they can do it. So 1 minute they can't do a certain dance skill, to the next minute they can, and then they go home and they're able to show off to their parents.
That's
So yeah, I just got it really excited, and so emailed the newspaper at 3 in the morning that night.
wonderful.
And then at 10 a.m. the next day, has he replied? And he had. So
Great. And there it was. It was in the, and for our international listeners, you can do this in your own, you can go small and local, and then it gets shared out, doesn't it? Among the press pick up on it. It's human interest. It's real, it's practical, and they're always looking for good stories. And what a happy story to be able to share.
I just felt it was important to get out there that it's not just about dance and fitness. Like children need their confidence and self-esteem built from a young age.
Absolutely. And the franchise has a way to nurture careers as well, doesn't it? As if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but teenagers can help in the class and
So we have amazing opportunities for children. So my daughter, who's 13, so from the age of 10, we have a junior instructor program
mm,
where 10 and upwards, they can start working with our younger classes and become dance assistants, to the lead instructors. So they help out with our younger children, whether that's like helping them with the routine or helping them tie their shoelace or just being another positive influence in the class. And then that builds our junior instructors up, that they take on new challenges each week and new roles. So it builds their confidence as junior instructors. And then from age 16, we have a scholarship program where we teach them not just about how to become a dance instructor, but we also teach them the business elements as well, of how to run their own dance school. So then by the time they're 18, they become qualified as a dance instructor. And if they want to, we're able to give them the support to open their own dance school.
incredible. Because the academic route is, you know what I think about. It's not the right route for everyone, and there's so
No.
many different paths. And I think we'd probably agree that a lot of educational systems, not only in our country, but sort of try to force people down one route. And there's so many choices, if only they know about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this exact issue that I had with my eldest daughter, who's 17, like when she failed at GCSEs, I had bought into the dance franchise already then, so I knew I had this, but it was very early days. I didn't know how it was going to look. And I tried getting her into two different colleges. One refused to take her due to her autism,
Gosh.
and said it wasn't the place for her because she didn't make eye contact during the interview with them. So 1 minute they said
Wow.
they were inclusive and they would be able to provide her with support, but she had a kind of like a meltdown, like in the interview with them, because it was we'd sat waiting for 2 hours in a busy, noisy canteen until somebody interviewed her. So
That's
by that
true.
time, she was really overstimulated,
Yeah, and
and
I wouldn't be nervous after 2 hours waiting.
the canteen was so noisy as well. Even I felt like, ah. We went for this interview after 2 hours of waiting, and she didn't make eye contact. Even though they gave us the spiel that they were inclusive, they would give her support if she was to do the course. Got home late that afternoon, and they emailed me saying they couldn't accept her onto the course. Um, and yeah, then I've reached out to local support that tried speaking to social worker about what to do with her, and the support just hasn't been there. So it is so lucky that I bought the dance franchise, because now
Yeah,
that's her full-time thing. So
amazing. And all the bits of the jigsaw start to fit together. And there's sometimes we can't see what a result's going to be. But if I go back to what you said earlier, it's just this fell into your lap. I know there's lots of hard work behind it.
yeah,
It's not just like that, of course, and our listeners will know that. But we never perhaps know the positive results of a small decision that turns out to be an amazing path forward.
No, so it's just about, you know, stepping outside your comfort zone, putting yourself in the right rooms with the right people who have achieved the things that
Yeah,
you want to achieve. They say you become the five people that you spend your most
yeah,
time with. I've really
exactly.
had to learn that over the years of making sure I surround myself with other entrepreneurs and people that are further ahead of me, people that are, that have done the things I want to achieve. And another really important lesson is don't take advice off somebody who hasn't done what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just thinking, you said there's the circle of five. We are who we surround us. They lift us up, don't they? And we obviously reciprocate and lift them up. But let's circle back to your coaching business because I know you've had to put a little bit on hold while you've got the franchise going, but you've got so much to share. So what's the process if someone's listening, people listening, I really need to contact Sophia. What should they do?
I am excitedly relaunching my coaching business in the next couple of weeks. I'm just working on some things behind the scenes.
Good for you.
Um, but yeah, I'm really missing working with women and seeing the powerful shifts that
Yeah.
the tools that I've learned and that I use on my clients create. I'm actually going to an in-person event in April
Mhm.
to help out at so Belief Coding every year do an in-person event. So I'm going up there to help the new wave of ladies coming through. So I felt like it was my time to go up there and give back
Right.
and volunteer to help the women that are coming through
Okay, and we could
now.
put those details also in our show notes. So we're talking at the beginning of 2025. So if you caught it at the right time, you can catch that.
To work, so yeah, working with me directly. Obviously you'll share my
Yeah,
email or my Facebook. I'm usually on Facebook. That's my hangout. I've tried Instagram and other things, but Facebook seems to be my go-to. So I'm
yeah,
Sophia Lorraine on Facebook.
fantastic. And it's where your people are, isn't it? And whatever our favorite platform is, as we know, it's no use if that's not where our people are, where the people we can help. So yeah, Facebook makes huge sense, and that will be in the show notes, the hyperlink. So very easy to get in touch with Sophia, people.
No, I tend to network with a lot of business people, but actually, I would really like to help empower more single mums because, especially now, I don't know if this is right, but as single mums, we're expected to work at least 30 hours in employment now. So if I wasn't an entrepreneur, didn't have my own business where I can be flexible and work my own hours, I think, Christ, I could not work in a job 30 hours a week
Uh,
with three children. That would give them no time whatsoever because you've got to think about your traveling as well. I'm
yes,
like, far too much is expected from us nowadays.
yeah.
That so I think, you know, setting up your own business and being able to work around your family is more important than ever these days.
And for people to recognize that they've got skills, whatever it's in, there are people need your skills and your knowledge that you might not even, I guess, recognize that you have. Do you find that with
Yes,
some of your
yes, so
clients?
absolutely. That's what I help women with. I have people like say that they could never start their own business. I had that belief years ago when I first left my husband. I that I would never, you know, I didn't have good grades at school. I really struggled. Um, I didn't have a very good education at all. So I always had the belief that I would never be good enough to have your own business, but that's just a load of rubbish. Like we're all
Yeah,
good enough. And we all, so that's what I help clients with is find what they are good at, what they're passionate about. Because we lose sight of what we're even passionate about. But it is in there. We all have some that one thing that we're super passionate about. Um, whether that's like creative or helping others, you know, so
Mhm.
I help women really discover what it is that they want to be doing going forwards.
Wonderful. That's really that it's it's so empowering and so powerful just to hear you say that because there'll be people out there who probably be thinking, I can't do anything. And maybe just, guys and girls, just well, ladies, just click that link, go and find Sophia and just take that first step. And people can look at your Facebook, can't they? Can sort of get their confidence to send that email and say, let's talk.
Yeah, so I do have some free resources on my website as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, I have, I'm just updating a few things, but yeah, if you go onto my website, sophiafullpotentialcoaching.com, there's usually a couple of freebies that will help you start to discover what it is you're passionate about, and then and help you with identifying some of the limiting beliefs that may be holding you back.
Excellent,
So,
excellent. Sophia, when we get to the end of the conversation on our podcast, we ask the guests three things. So just changing, lightening up a little
okay.
bit. So you might like actually being on a desert island for a short while, but imagine you're on a desert island and you can choose the food of your choice. And you've got the fish in the sea and you've got some berries up there, but what one food would you take with you?
Oh gosh. I'm not the most healthiest of people.
Oh, don't worry.
My favorite go-to food is like a bacon sandwich, I think. I couldn't live without that if I was stranded on a desert island.
Fair enough. Okay. So now moving on, you've got the faith book of your choice and you've got Shakespeare. What one other book would you take with you?
Book. Oh, I love, love, love reading self-development books. I'm a self-development junkie. But um, I think to start my self-development journey, my favorite book and really eye-opening book has been The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Yeah, that makes huge sense. So the secret, okay, you've got the secret with you. And then
Yes.
finally, you can take one piece of music. We won't worry about how you're going to play it. You're going to be able to play it one piece of music. What will that be? I think this is going to be quite telling.
Gosh. Yeah. I'm not very good with knowing artists and names of songs. Would you believe it, as a dance franchise in a pet?
No, that's different.
What's my
Yes.
favorite song? Oh, I love Ellie Goulding's songs. And
Okay.
actually, it even makes me cry just thinking about it. How Long Will I Love You by Ellie Goulding,
Oh,
because that reminds me of my nan, who passed away on my birthday last year.
I'm sorry to hear that. And what
So yeah, always Ellie Goulding's song.
lovely. And for Valentine's Day, very, very appropriate as well.
Yeah. So yeah, and I just want to add, so even with my nan passing on my birthday last year, I was able to, with like the self-love and confidence I've got
Mm,
now, I was able to put that into a positive spin,
mm,
that, and have real gratitude for the fact that my nan chose my birthday to go on, which solidified for me our bond relationship.
mm.
And it, if anything, it enhanced my spiritual beliefs. And now I always feel my nan present with me. So I've gone on this huge spiritual awakening journey, as well as, building around self-worth and confidence. And even on Wednesday, I was driving to Bournemouth with my cousin to go and watch a show, and I said to my cousin, "Oh, I said I haven't felt connected into Nam for a few days. Like, I don't know what's going on." And we got to our hotel room, and our hotel room was 111, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's an angel number." So my cousin laughed at me because she thinks I'm a bit bonkers. But I was like, see, I said I would connect it in, and now Nan showed me that she's put me in the angel number room.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, how uplifting. That's incredible. Sophia, thank you very much for joining us today. Lots for people to take in and lots to think about, from self-love, from inner the confidence and starting your own business. So again, check the show notes, people, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening to the podcast, there's lots of information there to Sophia's website and how to contact her. Any last words, Sophia, before we finish?
Yep, just be kind to yourself. Be careful how you speak to yourself, because your subconscious is listening to everything you say. So positive reinforcement, be kind to yourself, show gratitude for yourself and who you are and what you have overcome, and know that anything is possible.
Thank you very much. Been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.